Hey, everybody. It's the Audible Farm Podcast, and it's episode 100. Episode 100 of the podcast. Wow, that's pretty cool. This episode's brought to you by Couchtown Coffee. Couchtown Coffee is roasted here in Iowa, and every coffee order is made specifically for whoever ordered it. That's right, made-to-order coffee shipped directly to your door. You can't beat that. Oh, wait, yes, you can. You can save 20% because you're listening to this podcast. So all you got to do is make an order at couchtowncoffee.com and enter the code word Audible Farm. The code word Audible Farm will let them know that Audible Farm sent you, and you can save 20%. So hit them up, www.couchtowncoffee.com. Code word is Audible Farm. It'll save you 20%. Also, the Audible Farm shop is up. The Audible Farm shop is, there's a link in the description if you want to scroll down and check it out. And for listening to this episode, if you're listening the day this came out, there is 5% off anything at the Audible Farm shop if you enter the code word Scott. The code word is Scott, and once again, that code word is only available for today only. So if you're listening to this the day it came out, you have a shot at saving 5%. If not, hey, check out the next episode maybe. All right, so the code word is Scott for this week. And why is the code word Scott to save 5% on the order? Well, it's because I'm sitting down with Scott Kirkhart. Scott Kirkhart hit me up and he's like, what are you doing for episode 100? And I said, well, I don't have any big plans. And he said, I'm in. So we got together and we recorded so much in this that we actually filled up the SD card on my recorder. And I didn't have anything with me to empty it and keep going. So the conversation kind of just ends. However, we did also record a video version of this podcast. Yes, there is video version of this podcast. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the outro, though. So this episode's pretty cool. We talk about Scott Kirkhart having over 100,000 views on Facebook on his music video. That is absolutely insane. 100,000 views? Are you serious? Like, I thought clearing 1,000 was pretty cool. 100,000, oh, wow, that's pretty wild. You know, we talk about that. We talk about coming back and playing shows and having a stage presence, as well as going to the Barnum Jams. And we talk about all sorts of good stuff. So check it out. And if you want more information on the longer version of this podcast, check it out in the outro. It'll be in the outro. But yeah, this is episode 100. Woo woo! Episode 100 with Scott Kirkhart.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
I can't wear my Scott Kirkhart hat while I'm doing this. All right, dude, what's up? It's episode 100. 100. You know, it's really wild. Like, my podcast goes to episode 100 as your video clears 100,000 views on Facebook.
Yeah,
dude, that's pretty wild.
It was.
I think you were still recording that the video for that before the last time I talked to you on the podcast. If I'm not mistaken.
Think we recorded the video. When was it? April, March? I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, so I think I haven't talked to you since it came out. So the video, I'll Do Me. It's available pretty much anywhere you want to watch a video. YouTube, it's on YouTube.
Yep, YouTube.
And
Facebook,
yeah, it cleared 100,000 views on Facebook, man.
That's pretty. It's unreal what social media can do.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it's from coast to coast to.
Have you gotten any like weird traffic? Have people been like, hey, you know, like?
Yeah, and you know what? We went to Sawyer Brown concert the other night or last night, and at Sac County Fair.
Oh, nice.
And one of my friends was wearing a hat, and she walked up and she says, somebody came up and says, is that a Scott Kirkhart hat? And we're like, yeah. And where can I get one of those? How do you know them? And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go.
Oh, man. You've got to set up an online shop, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, it's coming.
Oh, good.
Yep,
Good. I just set one up, and it's beneficial because I'm sure you know just as much as I do that, like, when you're trying to sell merch, like, on the side a little bit, it's like, just hit me up. I'll meet you here. And then it's just like, do I have to have change now? And then you got to make sure you got the right size and maybe bring another one just in case it's not big enough,
Right.
It's, oh, man. So it's tough sometimes meeting up with people.
Especially T-shirts, and we're going to have a whole line coming up. I'm teaming up with Jim Jensen from Trophies Plus.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to have the website out, the online store out, and we're going to have cups, mugs, hats, T-shirts,
Oh, sweet.
keychains, anything that you'd ever want.
Dude,
So,
that's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. I'm going to move my mic. Hopefully it's not too loud. There we go. That way it's closer to in between us because we're going to be facing each other. So maybe we could... Yeah?
Yeah, how you doing?
There we go. There we go. All right. So we're going to move these mics. But anyways, yeah, dude, like how did you meet up with this guy, or how did you end up deciding this was the way you were going to go? Or...
You know what? Everything is just kind of fallen right in place the way it's supposed to. Just out playing gigs, playing music is what I want to do. And he came to a few of my shows and really liked what he was seeing. And we became really, really good friends. And he's just a huge supporter of music. He's an old bass player from back in the 80s when in the hair days.
Oh,
and,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Turned businessman. And
oh, nice.
so he's just like, I can help you out. We can do this. We can do this. And
Well, that's really neat.
I said, great.
So you're just like teaming up with him and kind of...
I teamed up with Jim Jensen. Yep. And so they're building his website right now. I mean, they're spending buku bucks on their huge business website.
Oh, cool.
And they own Trophies Plus and Breda. And so they take care of like all the Iowa High School Athletic Association, Minnesota High School Athletic Association stuff.
Oh, cool.
All the trophies, ribbons,
Oh,
all that.
neat.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep.
That's really cool. Oh, man. Maybe you could like make a... I'm trying to think of like what is the most insane thing you can make it like a trophy store for a Scott Kirkhart memorabilia or something.
Yeah, right.
Like
Who
get like a
knows?
Scott Kirkhart plaque you can start selling or something.
Jeez.
You never know. You never know. We should make you one for clearing 100,000 views.
That was that was pretty cool. And that 100,000 views. I mean, I think it's what, up to 117 now. I think is what it is.
I haven't looked.
Last I looked.
If that's the case, it's been like I haven't looked in like 3 weeks. So you know,
Yeah.
in like 3 weeks, you got
I mean,
almost
it's-
another 20,000
And it's
views.
still climbing. I mean, and
Oh
it's-
God.
So Tim Fox and TFC Productions, True North Visuals. That's who did it. The video, and it was right in the middle of the pandemic stuff that's all going on.
Yeah.
And we make this trip all to Minnesota, and you're not supposed to do this stuff in Minnesota because that's pretty well shut down right now.
Yep.
So we made a trip up there one weekend and decided to shoot at this horse ranch. And
Oh, cool.
the owners of the horse ranch are the couple that's in it that played actors. And
Oh,
they
neat.
were all game and gung-ho for it. And
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. I was wondering if you like hired professional actors or like I was like, where's this place at?
No.
Because this place looks really cool, And
they're both husband and wife. And Jordan, the girl, she was fantastic. She's just like, I'm going to do this. Let's do this. And I said, all right, well, you got to kind of act mean. You got to kind of act mad to Josh. And the guy that plays in it, and he's just laughing. He's so chill and set back. And he's just like, oh, all right, let's go. And she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's a really good video.
And then, so we put it out there, and it just hit immediately. And it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, which is good.
Yeah, I think one of the things that helped that, as far as like you had momentum going into the release, just on the simple fact you found a hook from the song that was just a small enough snippet to not even give any of the song away.
Right.
And it was just like, this song's coming out.
Yep.
And it's coming out in like a month, And so
Yep.
you would post that like every now and then you'd post these little snippets of it and just be like, dude, it's coming.
Like a little teaser type deal.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's coming. It's
And,
coming.
And I met Tim through my videographer through music too, when I opened up for Ross Ellis and Drew Baldridge at the Bundle Up Ball at Alta, Iowa.
Oh, cool.
And we got to be really good friends. He's like, yeah, let's do this, let's do it. And so he's the one who made both of my videos, all three of them, because the Amazing Grace video that we did.
Oh, yeah.
And the I Remember video, and then this one.
Yeah.
He's ready for the next one. So.
Dude. Oh, man, I hope you got something in mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's really crazy how you can like just kind of saunter through music and do your things and then run into these kind of people that can help you accomplish a goal.
It's amazing. And I've been blessed with people that has came into my life and just happened to just bounce into my life that way.
Yeah.
And I can't thank them enough and all the support that I get out of them enough. Shannon Iverson at the Cornerstone Pub up in Emmitsburg is another one.
Yep.
We're kind of teaming up, him and I are, and we're going to try to get music he wants to be the elite area for music up in North Iowa area.
Oh, cool.
And so he's really on board and gung-ho and wants to start booking some of these big gigs. He's doing Wednesday nights now, and he wants to do more and more and more. So I'm kind of working with him. And
Oh, neat.
yeah, I can't. And we met at the Carroll Brewing Company. He came down there one Sunday during my Sunday Fun Day shows that I do down there. And
Yep.
super nice guy. Whole family's great. And their daughter Tatum is an incredible singer. She's 17 years old. And I'm like, you got to keep doing this.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So it's neat how people just kind of pop into your life through music.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I met you guys, how I met Clint Riedel, how I met Jeremy Ober. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like, it's a blessing, totally.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, for a while, I was just like, I don't know if I fit in with this group of people and blah, blah, But then after a while, it's like, I'm just going to sit down and talk to all these people. And you find out everyone's just a regular person,
Yeah.
and they're accessible. And just because they can play music maybe, quote unquote, better than I can, quote unquote. Hey, everybody watching the video can watch the air quotes now. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're on video.
Yeah, I forgot. But yeah, so like, just because they're better than me doesn't mean they're not going to talk to me and stuff like that, and it's it has afforded me a lot of like crazy opportunities, like playing the Rockin' Picnic and going to jam nights, and being like one of the host musicians at a Patty's Pub jam night with Jeremy Ober, and
Right.
and coming out here and playing all the jam nights in Barnum.
Barnum's kind of fun. What did I come there about 2 weeks ago? I think was
2 or 3.
That was my first time I've been there for a jam night, and I got on the drums. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't done that.
That's so funny. Like, you're up. It's like, can I play drums? And I'm just like, yeah, anybody can play. I mean, I'm playing drums. Clint's playing drums. Go up there, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, Scott knows how to play the drums.
No,
though.
I don't really. I mean, I played drums for a long time in my life, and then I just quit.
So like, let's talk about that. Like, how did you start playing the drums? Was that like your first instrument then?
It was.
There you go.
I played in high school. I was a 3-time state jazz band drummer in high school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then we went to I went to college and played drums in college.
Oh, that's awesome too.
And then one day I was just like, I'm done.
What?
Yeah. I just like
What?
I got tired. Well, because let's be honest, drummers never get any good looking women. So no, I'm joking. Drummers joking. But I wanted to play guitar. I wanted to learn how to play guitar, and I wanted to make music and not just noise, or a rhythm to it.
Yeah, it is very tough to pull like a melody out of a drum kit.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can come up with some killer beats. But,
Yeah.
So then I just decided that I was just done with it. I was partying and having a good time, and I was young, and and I was like, I'm gonna do something else. And so that's when I kind of started learning how to play guitar a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's really cool though. I mean, did you like just quit playing drums altogether? Did you ever now and then sit at one
Actually,
or no?
I had to make rent payment, I think, one time, and I ended up selling my
Oh,
drum
no.
set to
Oh.
do that.
Oh.
And I regret it now because it was a nice Mapex, full set, and
I'm sure there's so many musicians that have those stories. Oh, that's
Right.
got to be soul crushing. It's just like, I got to get rid of this. I guess I'm not using it. I guess and then 10 years down the road or whatever, you're like, dang it,
I still wish I had the drum set. It was
Yeah.
a killer drum set.
dude. Yeah, I mean,
I went to California somewhere, if I remember right.
oh wow,
Yeah.
dude. I think that's something crazy. Is like, it seems like instruments, and I'm not trying to say they like get cheaper, but it seems like the high and low end instruments are kind of evening out now the later they go. And like back in the day, some of like even the cheaper stuff was made so high quality that like,
Oh, yeah.
nowadays the cheaper stuff isn't quite as high quality.
Well, some of the guitar companies kind of screwed themselves that way.
Yeah.
I mean, they were selling Squires that were just as good as regular Fender Strats. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I know. Like the thing was, they like barely they paid less attention to detail. Was like pretty much the only difference,
Correct.
And it's
Yeah.
like, if you could set some specs up on the Squires back in the day, because like you were talking about, we were talking once having a conversation about lace sensor pickups and things like that.
Yeah.
And Squire made for a while they were just like, well, this one here is like actually like it's got high end pickups in it and high end tuners and the whole 9 yards, just like a Fender does. But the only thing that's different is like it's a B stock body. It was one that was just like it has a thing in it and it's not perfect.
Right.
So it's a Squire now.
Yeah, but nobody,
No,
the collectors cared. I
Yeah.
mean, the players didn't care.
No, exactly.
They just wanted to, you could take a cheap guitar and throw some really good pickups in it.
Yeah, I mean that's been my MO. I mean that's what I've that's what I've preferred to do if I'm taking a guitar places.
Yeah,
I mean,
and like I showed you, I have one electric.
Yeah.
You know, and the rest of mine are all acoustic.
Yep.
And, I mean, I'm a firm believer in that. You have to have a guitar that speaks to you, and when it does, you won't put it down.
Yeah.
And you know, all the guitars that I have literally just like, yep, this is it. You know? But yeah, that's as far as electric goes. I think I would probably do that too. I think I'd find a cheaper one and throw some cool pickups in it.
I mean, I was talking with a buddy of mine about that. Like, you can go get like an Epiphone guitar and then literally go out and buy like a Gibson brand everything to replace the stuff on it, and you can have a Gibson for like half the price of the Gibson.
Right.
You know, and
It just doesn't say Gibson on that stock, right?
Bingo, yeah. And I mean, another reason I've always preferred having like some less expensive electric guitars and then putting new pickups in it or whatever is the fact that like I can take this somewhere, and if it gets stolen, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's still a big deal because you're losing your
my guitars
baby,
are just you don't want to put them down. I mean, they're just part of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just, this is, and then you put somebody else's, or you play somebody else's, and it's like,
yeah,
it doesn't fit.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so weird because like you can set up guitars to be almost exactly identical, but like picking years up, you're like, oh, I know what to do with this one.
Right.
I feel like there's something especially like on my end with like electric guitars. You pick up someone else's electric guitar, it's like I don't want to bend the strings too hard. You know, I don't want to.
Yeah.
On mine, I'd be like wailing into this thing, and I don't want to like scuff it or something.
I like your PV that you brought to jam night.
Yeah.
That's a cool old guitar.
Yeah, it's a really neat old guitar. I jumped into like a PV group online, and they were like, this is the holy grail of PV guitars, and it's the T60. But it's like, you know, that's another weird one. Like, the prices for those are fluctuating like insanely now because the people that know what they have want to try and sell them for way too much.
Right.
But, you know, the average market price is still less than like a new Epiphone Les Paul.
Well, you know, some of these collectors' guitars, like, they just had an auction not too long ago, and they sold Dwayne Allman's, or was it Dwayne Allman's?
Who was it? Ironically, my dad sent me a link to the article, and he's just like, check this out. And I was like, oh, holy cow!
Was it his gold top? It was for like $14 million. I mean, it was unreal.
Yeah, there was something. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a '58 Les Paul or something. It was the one year that everyone always goes nuts over. You know,
right.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but
and I get some of those links, you know, from and some of those auctions. These guitars are just going for.
Yeah, it's insane.
Unreal money. I
started looking into like who buys whose guitars, and like what guitarists have large guitar collections that are more than just like I've got 9 guitars, and you know it's just some of these or some of, you know, like some of those people like end up having like hundreds and hundreds of guitars.
You should check out Vince Gill's. Did you ever check out Vince Gill's? Check out, it's on YouTube. Look up Vince Gill's guitar collection. Oh, man. And he's got pre-war era Martins, and I mean, and hundreds of them.
Oh man,
it's
probably just one of those deals where he's got the money, so why not, you know? And they're not going to go down in value.
No, ever. No, that's an investment to them. You know, that's my favorite acoustic guitar. I've owned a Taylor. But I got 2 Martins now, and I absolutely love them.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, is like I've only got one acoustic, but the acoustic I have, I mean, it works. It's functional. It's electric acoustic and the whole 9 yards. So it just doesn't have what you're talking about. It doesn't have that thing where it's like, when I'm playing this, I don't want to put this down. And that's probably why I only have one, because I'm just like, I don't like playing the acoustic, but it's just the one I have is not my preferred one,
you know,
I guess.
I always said that guitar's got that's why I like to go out and play them. I don't like this mail order, you know.
Eesh, that's so tough.
It is. Because even if you go to Chris Carr's 8th Note Music or Pro Music Center in Des Moines, you pick up that guitar and you're like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yep.
And then you bring it back and try to order it online, and then you get it. It's still not the same exact guitar.
Same. No.
You know,
no, different pieces
of wood. No guitar is made the same.
No, as close as you think they can get. They're still like a little bit off.
Yeah.
I've been, like, I like to remake guitars. I hydro dipped a blue one. It was actually a Les Paul, Epiphone Les Paul 100. It's like a lower end Les Paul. But the thing about that was, like, I was just like, man, this guitar is kind of like, it's kind of cheap actually. You know, it functions perfectly well. It's the one I play for 3 Finger Betty. You know,
nice.
and that's a testament to playing a cheap guitar there. But I just redid another one recently. I showed you some pictures of it earlier.
Yep.
I didn't make a video for that one, unfortunately.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I don't know why.
Oh, you should
I
have.
don't know why I didn't.
What that paint job, whatever you did, how did you do that? You dip it?
That one actually, I used. I like flung the paint at the guitar.
Oh, you did?
From a distance, and that's just the way it came out looking. So it worked out pretty well. But that one's also an Epiphone Les Paul 100, but they weigh like almost a pound different from one another.
Oh, really?
And it's like when I'm like, why do they weigh so different? And you set them next to each other, and the body on one is thicker than the other one. So it's like, and that's a testament also to like how inconsistent they can be. It's the same model of guitar.
Right.
They were different years. They came from the same factory.
That's cool that you're building your own, though. Greg Merritt from Jake Light, he built his own.
Yeah, I saw that when they played.
And it's got no volume on it. No volume controls.
Yep.
He does it all by pedal.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's kind of cool, man.
I love that.
And it sounds, let's see, he played with Riddle with Class for Tracy Ernst's benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded killer
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
It's got one pickup in it, one single coil pickup. That's it.
I think it's got a mini humbucker, so it's like a humbucker
is that what it is,
squished
a mini
into a
humbucker?
single. I think.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, that's what he did. He went full, just straight out.
and it sounds so good.
All the tones coming from there. He also, like, he took a good approach too, where he took like a Mexican body. So it's like, as far as like consistency, Mexican-made Fenders are like second to American.
Right.
And you're gonna get like the most consistent quality.
But
wood,
he sanded everything down and redid it all.
Redid it all himself and put a different neck on it so it was more stable and whammo.
Wish I could do that. I mean, I probably could, but
yeah. I mean that blue guitar I had was the first one I ever took apart.
Really?
And I was just like, just take it all apart, all the way apart. I mean, unsolder everything, just take everything all apart.
You completely did.
And just see what happens.
That's cool though.
And that was a wild one because I had it all done and I was like, I want to put a kill switch in here. I want to put a video game knob kill switch in here. So I threw one of those in there, a la Buckethead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was after I had the guitar finished, and I was like, I have to drill through the front of this thing, and it's already finished. And if I chip this finish, it's gonna get destroyed.
Right.
And so I had to like find a way to do it. So I got some really hard wood and some really soft wood and plied it together so it always had constant tension. So that way it always when the drill went through, it didn't splinter anywhere. But that's just weird stuff you got to kind of figure out. And I'm still figuring stuff out.
So when I was making that video, the music video, I had my Martin right there sitting on a strap, and it's strap locked, and I had it hanging over my shoulder, and I must have turned this way, and the patio door handle of the house that we were in, it hit the bottom of the guitar pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything of it at all. I was like, oh no, darn it.
Yep.
And I feel, and there's like a puncture wound in the wood of the bottom of my guitar. And I look, and it's cracked, and I'm like, what in the world?
Oh no.
How in the hell do I fix this?
Yeah.
And so I went down to Des Moines. I brought it down to Des Moines. There's a luthier there, the luthier shop or whatever.
Yep. Is that the one that was like, is it kind of by lefties maybe? I don't know.
It's in Clive, I think, is where it's at.
Okay.
Down the road
different one, but yeah.
Right down the road from Pro Music Center and
all right,
and around the corner from a guitar shop.
All right.
But it's just this one single guy, and there was probably 4 guys in there that day and 3 of them were from Fort Dodge area.
Oh wow.
Bringing mandolins and all kinds of stuff. That's kind of a trade in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, and he fixed it. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, and something like that happens, you're like, what in the hell do I do now?
Yeah.
Oh no. But now she's got a story to tell. So.
Exactly, yeah. And the best part is like some of those repairs can be done to the point where like you can't even tell that anything happened.
Well, he said, do you want me to completely fix it? Where you can't tell anything? Or it's going to cost this? Or do you want me to, you're going to see it, the crack, but...
Yeah, it won't do anything. Yep.
It'll give it a little character.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, let's do it that way.
Yeah.
So,
I would have done it that way too.
Yeah, so I got a little character to it.
Yeah,
like I said, she's got a story to her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to do it though too. And I wish I knew more about that stuff. I never went to school for it or anything. I just read most of my stuff in a book, but like I also assume like guitar building would be different than guitar repairing. Because imagine like you can build a guitar, it's like, oh, I sawed all this stuff off and
Right.
Ramo painted it and stuff, but it's like I dropped it and now this thingy's all janked up, and it's like, well, now we got to like set a
Now you
dowel in
have
here
to-
and drill it
Yeah,
out.
you
and
have
all
to
this other-
fix it, pull the wood out,
Yeah,
and
do
then
this crazy stuff. to
glue it. And
Yep. I have aspirations of fixing an acoustic guitar that somebody has broken, and it's very non-functional, and I'm going to try to like hobo it all together using minimal knowledge and see what happens.
Well, I got a friend of mine who gave me his Ovation, and the
cool.
bridge popped off of it,
Oh wow, yeah.
and he's like, "Where do I get it?" And I said, "Well, I could probably take it down to Des Moines to you, you know, and get it fixed, or maybe Chris Carr could fix it too."
I bet Chris.
I
could
think
fix
Chris
it.
has been doing a lot of work on guitars. I've seen
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been seeing some of his videos.
some of his videos, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, he's got some killer equipment over there.
Yeah.
8-note music now, you
yeah.
know,
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like
vintage.
a lot of that stuff's appointment only and all this other stuff. So
Yeah,
you,
with all this pandemic crap that's going on.
But the easiest way is for him to drag them all over to his shop one at a time or 10 at a time or however he's doing
Right.
it, and just being like, here's a video of me playing this guitar. It's for sale. Hit me up. And it's like everything I hear, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And
Yep.
he was doing like a harmonica amp that was really awesome.
Oh, I seen that one, and I seen the one that he was slide guitar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I think maybe we're thinking of different ones. But
Well, and you know, so that puts us into a whole nother subject of those live feeds that he's been doing.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Dominant force in the area, definitely.
oh yeah,
Some of the
and,
highest
you know,
quality
he's been
streams.
doing that 17 by 17 studios, which is he's doing a killer job of it. I think he finally got his internet problem fixed.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean,
It was never ending there
no.
for a while,
I
but
mean, he was getting everything like a squirrel chewed on it. You know, he was getting like every
Right,
excuse.
everything.
They'd fix it and come
Oh.
back and be like, some guy was mowing his lawn and hit a thing. It's like, geez, man.
you know,
like,
that kind of got fun though there for a little while. I mean, granted, it's not as fun as playing out in front of a crowd,
yeah.
but I did mine, and Tim videoed that. My videographer, he did all that video stuff for it.
Oh, cool.
And we did one at his house, and it was just by myself. And then we did one over at Lakeview Foods. Actually sponsored it. Chad and Gina Schlepp, they're the owners, and they got this cool man cave that they built. It's literally a big garage, and the floor is all polished up, and he's an Iowa State fan. I'm not much of an Iowa State fan, but no, he's got it's a big man cave. So he's like, come over here and do it. He boosted up the internet called the company and had him boost up the internet just for that night.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. So we went there twice. I played with Ober one time and Tank Anthony one time. And those guys were fun. I mean, that was a fun night.
Oh, I bet.
Ended up being it. We ended up drinking probably a little too much. But it happens.
Oh man, that's another guy I need to get a hold of. Is Tank Anthony? I haven't had him on here yet. and I
Tank
don't know
is
why.
a great dude,
Yeah, man. I mean,
and he's killing it too.
yeah, dude. He's a ways away though. I think he's like Iowa Falls area, something.
Iowa
like that.
Falls, yeah.
Maybe he'll Skype me. Yeah, you never know.
He
Dude.
comes to Fort Dodge a lot too.
He does. Maybe he can make some time for me. I don't know. If you're listening, I'm coming for
Yeah,
you,
there
Tank
you go,
Anthony.
Tank.
Oh man, I'm like looking at this hat over here. It's looking so nice sitting over here. We did a nice little merch swap.
We did.
Last time we ran into each other. We were at the Barnum Jam and did a merch swap, and I got the red, white, and blue hat. I can't really put it on. And
I
wear
wore
it
your
right now.
T-shirt last night.
Oh, thank you, man. I
At the
appreciate
Sac
it.
County Fair, man.
Dude, that's sweet.
It was,
That's
like,
so cool.
cool.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of people liking the podcast recently, so thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. But
That's great.
You know,
You're picking up steam, dude.
yeah, I mean, you got different varieties of hats and everything, though, because you're wearing a different
I
hat
got-
than this one.
Yep, my black, and this is the black and gray one.
Yeah, I mean, I like that one too, man. I really like that one. It's understated and classy, you know.
Well, it's simple,
Yeah, dude. I mean,
and you know they're $25 is what I sell them for normally.
yeah,
You go to the Buckle or whatever like that, and they have blank Richards hat
yeah,
or Richardson's hat for $40. So here you can get one for the logo without, you know.
yeah. Support local and everything. I mean,
People are noticing. You know, that's kind of when we started it. My buddy Tom Bolin, who owns Black Bison Outfitters, I met him on the route, you know, because I'm a FedEx guy. It's my day job, and we became really huge music lover. Loved like King of the Tramps and all those,
yep.
that kind of music, you know, and just totally into it. And I was like, hey, make me a logo, you know, a new logo. And he came up with that, and it's simple.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
effective, and people are starting to know the logo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And associate the logo, which is kind of cool.
Well, it's just enough to be noticeable too, because like I'm not a hat guy, but I've been wearing hats recently because I have a hat now, and so I've been wearing it around, and people are just like, "What's that?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?"
Yeah.
And it's just enough to be like, to get people's interest,
Yeah.
and then you're just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's a guy that plays music around here. His name's Scott Kirkhart, so that's the SK," you know,
Yeah.
and it's just enough to get people. I don't know what it is,
Well, it's
but
kind of like at the fair. They're like, "Hey, how do you know him?"
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because I was like, Jen walked up to me and was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you have a really, really big fan here."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" You know?
Mhm.
And she's like she knew exactly what this hat was, and was like, "How do you know him?" And she's like, "Well, I'm friends with him. My husband and I are friends with him. And he's probably going to be here in like 10 minutes." And she's like, "Really?"
Oh man.
And her little girls were there too, and you know, they were like, "Oh yeah, this is cool." So it was kind of starstruck, and I was like, "Okay, that's kind of weird, but it's cool." You know, I kind of
It's
guess.
so cool though.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, it's crazy. 'Cause
Humbling.
Yes, I mean that's the thing is
Absolutely.
it's the end game is to feel that feeling, and a lot of us think we were going to be met with like a lot of pride when it comes to that, but it's the opposite of it. I
It
think
is the opposite of it. It's like, oh shucks, I'm just another dude.
Yeah,
you
you're almost
know?
just like no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's not a big deal, no. But it's weird because I mean,
And she was cool, and she was like, "Dude, I love all your music and this and this and this. Where do you play again? We always keep up to date on Facebook and everything." And I was like, "Thanks for your support." And and it was just, I mean, it was humbling, but you're kind of like, "Listen, lady, I'm just average Joe here, man, playing music. you
regular
know?
guy, regular guy.
I can you come to Barnum to jam nights, you can see us all deke around.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
Oh man, and
Which is cool. I mean, it was very humbling, and
I mean, that's one of the cool things about having music videos that are like as official looking as yours are and things like that. You know,
Yeah.
you went the full Monty, you did a good audio recording to go along with a good video recording, and here's the final product, and people are just like, oh, this guy,
Yeah.
he's in it for real, you know, and that's, I think, something a lot of people attribute to and being able to enjoy it.
yeah, and it's not that I'm trying to get famous, because I'm not.
No.
I just want people to love my music, and if it touches somebody or makes them feel good or brings back memories at that certain time or anything like that, that's what I'm shooting for. You know, I think that's what every songwriter shoots for.
Yeah.
Is that feeling.
Yeah.
We're emotionally letting our feelings out on a piece of paper.
That's true.
And into tunes, you know. I mean, I had a buddy of mine after that song came out. He's like, "Wow, man, that was deep, dude." I was like literally laying in bed with my wife, and I just had tears in my eyes, and I was like, he's like, either you got hurt in your past, or you know, or something like that. And I'm like, I don't really know. It just, when you're in that writing mode, you're in that phase, you kind of just let it out.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm saying like I know I'm not a good songwriter, unfortunately, and that's like one of the things I think is cool about you is you're writing all this music yourself. You know, you're not just like, here's an album with 12 cover tunes. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Writing's, you know, and there was times that, like, I would write the chorus, and when I was with my ex now, but when I was with Amy, and she was a great, fantastic writer. Like, she was so intelligent, she could write, but she wanted to write way more than what needed to be there. You know, and I'm like, no, we got to dumb it down a little bit. This is what, you know.
That's
hard.
That's actually important, because if you speak everything that happens there, it leaves no room for the imagination for the person to interject
Correct.
themselves.
And there's got to be phrasing, you know. I mean, there's got to be a rhythm to what you're kind of doing, and there's got to be a hook.
Yep.
You know, and I was never a songwriter, and I was never wanted to be a songwriter. I was never even interested in songwriting. And then all of a sudden one day I was just like, you know what, maybe it's time. And I got a book, Songwriting 101, I think is what it was. And, I read the whole entire book, and I still didn't understand it. I've always been a writer, but I was always doing the same thing, where you're writing entirely too much.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, I mean, and you have to dumb, and I say dumb it down, but you have to,
I understand what you're saying. I feel like you have to leave enough open space in there too. Like
Right.
you can't just go full sentences like, it was 2 a.m. and I was hungry for a burrito, so I was driving home, and then I was a little bit, it's just like
Yes.
you're speaking too much. It's just like late one night driving home. It's just like boom, that's enough. I mean, and that's enough to be ambiguous enough where it's just like everyone's been in that situation.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's the truth, and like when I'll Do Me came out, when I started writing I'll Do Me, I was kind of in an argument, and she looked at me and said, "You do you, I'll do me."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
That's a hook. That's a huge hook right there,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I mean, it worked. It was killer. It was. You have to try to explain something in detail,
Mm-hmm.
but make it really simple at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Clint is really good at doing that. Clint is that's a different style of music. It's a storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is literally telling you a story when he's singing to you, and that to me is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm more trying to. I want you to picture something in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
and this is tail lights in the driveway.
Yep.
You left me standing in the pouring rain.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just it's crazy. I love Clint when he does some of his. And when he does his own stuff and what he does and what he's doing, and he is a storyteller.
Yeah.
And that's what is cool about it. And Ober, there's another good killer songwriter around this area right now.
Oh my God. Jeremy Ober is also one of those people it's hard to like pin on a map somewhere because he can do so much different stuff where it's like, well, he doesn't fit. I mean, he fits into this box, but he also fits into these boxes, which are contrary to the first box you put him in. So
he's got that one song out right now, Atmosphere. It isn't recorded anywhere. I'm like, dude, you got to get that song recorded.
Oh my gosh,
it's my favorite tune.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff he does. I love hearing him at jam nights and busting songs out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get to hear him like work on a song before he gets to go play it live somewhere at a jam night.
Well, Jesse Wilson popped up.
Yeah,
man, he's starting to kick things off, which
is
cool.
Yeah, dude.
His new video is killer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Check it out, Jesse Wilson Music.
Right? Yeah, I should share it. I should share it to the group because I don't know if I did share it or not. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been a little busy, I guess, this week. But yeah, dude. And that's the cool thing, though, is I feel like it's not like, I don't know. So, like, you guys have very professional videos, and it's not like Clint Riedels is not because I made it.
I thought it was really good.
But the thing about it is, like, we made that in, like, the course of an afternoon in, like, one set.
On a cell phone.
With a cell phone.
Yeah, that's killer.
And I hate to, like, I almost hate admitting it because it's just, like, it makes it feel like less. But, like, I've had people contact me, like, I want you to videography my wedding. And it's just like.
With my cell phone?
That's what I keep thinking. It's like, it's going to look dumb when you're paying me money and I'm walking around with a cell phone and everyone can do this, But
I thought it was a good video.
But the concept of that is pretty awesome. Like, I've thought to myself, I wish I could go to a show and then, like, before you play one song, have everybody in the crowd get on their cell phone and record it and then send you that one song to you. So you can, like, pop through all these different fan views.
Yeah, that would be neat.
If you've got a good audio recording of it, it would be
we're doing video today.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're right. My band partner, my band buddy, Tim Zalder, is right. You hear what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a video of the song.
Yes.
As soon as they see that video, they're out buying that song somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether it's on Apple Music or Spotify or streaming it or doing whatever.
Yep.
And same goes for a show. When you put on a show, lights and smoke, and that's pretty cool show.
Dude, Salty Views. Oh gosh, they could stick you in the corner of here and be like, you guys are playing a show here, and it, like you said, there'd be lights and smoke and the whole 9 yards, and it would be awesome, and you guys would only take up just as much as a sectional couch.
And I'm kind of incorporating that into my solo stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Brady O'Brien? Yeah, Mason O'Brien's brother, I think is what it is. He's 16 years old, and he's got this light rack that he built, and it's got all the movable lights, the motorized lights. He's like, hey man, can I come over and run lights for you? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, I'll bring smoke and everything too. And I was like, okay, well I got my banner. We'll hang from the truss, and I got my banner behind me. And I played in Lakeview that way the other night because I've been hitting the road a lot.
Yeah.
And Man, it was a cool show.
Yeah.
It was packed house, and it was the lights made a huge difference.
I'm assuming he was running all the lights with some program on his computer or something.
It's all on a program on a laptop.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's basically just like the old DMX board, except for it's on your laptop now, and
Oh, that's awesome.
you could have each individual.
I bet it's pretty simple. Like, I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know how to do it.
Well, it's probably complex, but like the deal is like I bet you can just like motorize everything to points where you like it, and you're just like store this as setting 1, you know. So you can have some like general stuff. But you were saying, I think we were talking about this, that like it was to the point where like he was customizing it for you, like putting the spotlight on you for certain parts of certain songs.
Okay, so if I'm with Salty, if I'm singing a song solo, whatever, all those lights would be moved to me, you know.
That's wild, dude.
I mean, you got a big time concert in a little.
Yeah, dude.
And it's awesome. And it really is. And then he's crazy because he packs it up, puts it in the back of a pickup truck, down the road he goes.
Yep. Yeah. Man. I mean,
I'm like, man, you can come and do. I'll pay you whatever you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly. I mean, it's worth it too.
I think so too.
Everybody enjoys it that much more. And,
They do.
And there's something to be said, even about a minimal light setup, like an absolutely minimal one. I'm talking about just buy a couple of LED lights and some chasers. That's way better than nothing.
Right.
Without it, it's lacking so much. But
that's all I normally have is just one of those trees, you know, that's got 4 lights on it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's all I ever usually use.
That's enough.
Yeah, and that's plenty.
If you didn't have it, you would just be a dude in the corner playing guitar.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say
no, but that's the truth.
it adds some weird dynamic. I mean,
it does.
I play in a punk band. We play in a lot of bars, and it's noticeable when we bring the light rigs with us, and the lights are literally just. We just bought some like cheap plug-in lights where it's just like you can just plug this into the wall and it chases sound and it spins around and different lights shoot out of it. Who cares? It's just background stuff. But if you don't have it, it's like this is missing something. But if it's there,
I think it adds energy to it.
It does, yeah.
I really truly do.
It makes photos look so much cooler too when there's like different
for
splatterings
sure. I got
of
some
light
killer
around.
photos from the other night. That
Awesome.
It was like, man, that's pretty neat stuff. It's a whole new ball game, and with the LED lights, what they're doing now.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
And I mean, some of those like those motorized lights, they're like $90 a piece now.
Yeah.
Tim has some, I think, that were like $2,000. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
Right?
I remember those old power can lights that were just like a billion degrees, and I didn't play very many shows under them, but like a lot of the places
so hot.
A lot of the places finally upgraded, and I got like the tail end of it at a few places, and then I got to go in, and then there was like, oh, there's LEDs in here now.
And then the LEDs finally.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is so much nicer in here. Like I remember going in there, it's like I'm not wearing a cotton shirt in here ever again. It's way too hot.
Right.
And but it's crazy. Like the technology that comes along with that it's catching up to price ranges that a lot of people can afford without investing like insane amounts of money.
Yeah.
But it's also cool to have somebody else in town that kind of specializes in that. And it's just
that's all he's doing. He's not running sound. It's just here's a light show. Check it out.
Yeah.
Section 7 band it's what he built a stage for him, and
oh geez,
like it's got like an elevated stage and it's got ramps that walk down, and they carry that, and that's what they do.
Wow. Wow.
And that's I have not seen them. I know the guys that are in it, killer, great dudes, and from what I understand, they're killing it too. So there's another band that's up and coming.
Yeah.
Section 7 band.
Dude, as cheesy as it sounds to like have bands that are like, well, we got this whole stage presence and stuff, and it's like, well, you're just playing in bars and stuff, and like maybe only a couple hundred people, absolute tops, and it's like, so what? It's still super cool.
They're out doing it.
As dumb as it sounds, I remember going to the House of Bricks in Des Moines and seeing bands that were like playing like they were playing in an arena, and I still remember the stuff they had on stage, or like the stage show that they put on, regardless of the fact there was only like maybe like 10, 15, 20 people at the show. It's like I still remember these guys. And I still remember the show just based on the fact that they had those characters that came out in the show. And it's you have like, oh, we got all these stage props or something, or like what's another example? Like bands that have like we don't tour or anything, but we've got 4x12 cabinets with our band name on the front. It's just like some people are like, they turn their nose up at it. It's like, dude, that's still cool as hell. I think
it's cool.
It looks so professional. Looks like you guys are serious and ready for this.
It does. It's kind of like when I was trying to find my gig van. There you go. It's
Yep.
the Cornerstone Kirkhart Cruiser. Her name is Betty.
Betty.
Yeah, Big Betty. Thanks to my daughter. She's the one who named it.
Nice.
And I've been looking for a conversion van for years, or something that I could finally just put everything in, go. If I'm at a gig somewhere on the other side of the state, I can literally.
If you have to crash in it or something, yeah.
And whatever.
Yep.
And so I finally got one of them, and I would pull a trailer on top of it if I need to pull a trailer for the big stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's crazy how it becomes your life.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, whether it's your guitars, whether it's sound, whether it's lights, it literally consumes your life.
Yeah. It starts
with everything.
Yeah. Before you know it, you're buying a conversion van,
Right. I mean, what's up with that?
I don't know, man. That's hilarious though. And I totally get what you're saying. Like I remember the first time I ever thought of that was like when Nick Earhart was with Riddle with Class and he bought a trailer to haul all their stuff for their shows. And I was just like, man, what an investment. You got a trailer to haul all your stuff. Dude. Now it's just like, well, there's a lot of people have trailers and it's simple and it's easy to do it that way, It's I mean, if you need to, you can like carpool to an extent in a different vehicle, Yeah. And I mean, with your van, you could fit everybody in your van and drive them all to the show,
But it's just, and it's just weird how it's just, I'm just living my life through music, and that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the coolest things though too. Is like you were talking earlier. Like, I don't want to get famous. I don't want to get super popular. I don't want to like tour the world.
Well, I'm not saying I don't want to get famous. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's not what you're doing. But like, that's not what you're trying to like. That wasn't why you got into this. You weren't just like, I'm going to make $1 million and everyone's going to know my name.
Because if you have that thinking, I don't think it's ever probably going to happen. Really, I mean, if I'm meant to do this, it's going to happen.
Yeah. But playing music as a hobby has been efficient enough for you, and enough people know you, and you can go enough places and play enough shows in large enough venues that it's afforded you the opportunity to be like, well, I kind of need a van to haul my stuff around,
Yep, correct. And great people have helped me through doing that. The people that I've met, and have sponsored me and done stuff that I couldn't have been able to do without them doing it, which is awesome, and I can't thank them enough, and for the support and the love that they have given me and music in general. And like even when I was like, Ober, hey man, you want to come over and we'll do a gig together or whatnot? And he's like, yeah, let's do it, and the hospitality was second to none to him as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, they just love these people that have come into my life or coming into other people's life. And Tank was the same way. We sat out on the patio and by a fire afterwards, after we went live, and drank the night away and played guitar and sang at the top of our lungs. And people are going to remember that for the rest of their life.
Man, that's so true.
Yeah.
Wow. That's. I don't want to be like I've never thought about it like that, but I never have. But that's very true.
I mean, we're touching these people's lives far more than what you think we are.
Gosh, this is crazy. It's crazy because you're saying this, and it's like I feel the same way about going to jam nights and having people, play songs and letting me play their songs along with them. Or like, I don't like to play and sing too many songs. It's not. I can do it. It's just not my favorite thing.
I thought you did pretty good the other night, dude.
I'm not the best at it, but it's just because I don't do it a lot. And so like the other night, nobody was up there, and I was just like, well, nobody's up here. Everyone's kind of doing something, so I'll play a song since kind of everyone's out either having a cigarette or playing pool or whatever they're doing. And I was like, I'll do this, and I start playing like the opening to like Stranglehold, and you were just like, oh, let me get up there, and I was just like,
I think I remember it.
And I was just like, God dang it. Like, now I got to play this song. And it was fun to be able to do it though, and have somebody else that was like enthused to do it. And I'm always kind of weirded out by that. Like, no one's going to want to play Ted Nugent songs here. And it's like,
dude,
well,
come on.
Yeah,
it's Ted Nugent. Yeah. But I don't, the way I kind of figured is that, and as lately, especially when I play in my solo gigs and stuff, well, even in Salty, I mean, but we're a bar band trying to just enjoy our life with Salty Views. And it's a great show, great talent. Alyssa's awesome. Excuse me. Tim is awesome at what he does. And it's kind of a good collaboration between the three of us because it's now a 3-piece instead of a 4-piece.
Yep.
And then, but when I'm doing my solo shows, it's a total different outlet for me that I get to do because I can be me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I guess that's what has helped me along the way is if I can, and I tell people there when I'm playing too, thank you for letting me spend my time with you or you spending your time with me, because you guys came to see me. You know, this crowd came to see me.
Yeah.
So thank you, and I hope that I always want to make that show a memorable show for them, whether it's the joke or a laughing or really good music. You know, I want to connect with the audience.
Yeah.
And I think that is what has helped me along my way. You know, is connecting with the audience on an intimate level that other people can't do sometimes. You know, and I learned that probably from Chris Carr because Chris Carr is really good at it.
Yeah,
He's
so good at
and he always said you got to be an entertainer.
Yep.
We're all musicians, but you got to be an entertainer, and you learn how to entertain people. And you know what? Without music, I would have never met Chris Carr. I would have never met you. I would have never met, you know what I mean? Or Clint, Jesse, all these people.
Yep.
Ober, and that's cool. You build those friendships that you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've known very few of the people that I've interviewed much longer than, interviewing them. Like you and me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not trying to say I don't know if I've ever talked to you. I don't know if I ever really interacted with you almost at all up until we did the podcast.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So like, I mean, the same thing goes for Clint Riedel, and like so many of the other people I've talked to, and it's wild that you can like interact with these people and then find out about things where it's like, I can go to the Barnum Jam night, and because you and I have met each other, and been to each other's shows and watched each other play, and it's just like cool now. I mean, like I can get up here and actually have a chance to play music with this person, and that's also something that I don't take lightly because it's like, I always talk about this one time me and one of my buddies from Iowa Central, Vince, went to a jam night and Ron Lee King was playing guitar, and it was just like, dude, I got to play guitar, and Ron Lee King was playing leads for me, it's like, this is so sick, and it's like, but getting to play with Jeremy Ober, like I like mini cheesed when I got to play East Side Window with him a few weeks back at a show, and he's just like, all right, here we go. This is the chords.
This is the chords, man. This is how you do it.
Yep.
Okay, Over.
Play something along these lines, and it was just like, all right, sounds good, you know. And we played East Side Window, and that's a song I've been listening to for years.
Oh yeah.
And, it's been on the radio forever. Another one, music video that goes along with it.
Yeah.
A really nice music video, and it's just one of those cool things where it's like I got to actually play this song that I've heard so many times, and I've heard so many different people play it at jam nights, and tonight was my night, and I got to play it, and had I been like, I don't want to play tonight, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to play it, but it's so cool to have those like mini cheese moments where you get to be around musicians. Like,
well, like, okay, so last night was Sawyer Brown, of all people, played at the Sac County Fair, and let me tell you, they still got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen him in, I think it was 92 at the State Fair, and I didn't realize, but in 84, they were the Star Search winner of the $100,000 Star Search recipients. Cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's hard to believe. That's a lot. It dates me.
Oh, well, yeah.
But Jay Clyde opened up for him, so I got to watch, and man, they sounded killer.
Oh, my
killer.
Gosh.
The sound guy had them just sounding killer out front.
That is so cool.
They all run on ears anyway, but I got to bullshit with them afterwards, and
that is so cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so
I mean,
cool.
And I know all the guys very well. Love all the guys very well, and
yeah.
And
I think I've interviewed everyone but Neil. So.
Oh, you haven't done Neil yet?
Yeah.
That's shout Neil! He's coming for you.
Yeah, I've talked to Neil about doing one.
Neil is a great musician.
We got to get a time
he
laid
is
down.
just out there. Like he's playing with Brad Morgan. He's playing with Jay Clyde. He's doing a lot of solo stuff on his own.
Solo stuff now. Yeah.
And he's ready to push it. It's kind of like he's got that same kind of mentality I am. Let's play. That's what we want to do. Let's just go out and play in front of people.
Yeah.
So.
Ironically, like I met Jesse Wilson at a jam night, and then I did a little bit of a podcast with him when we were talking about him recording his video, and I was like, I see a lot of that in him as well, though, too, because he's just like, I'll play a show here. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll play a show here. Yeah. Whatever. And he can do everything from like country to rock to like hip hop and rap. Because he uses a looper, so he can fit in a lot of different places.
I haven't got into that looper stuff.
Ooh, it's so fun.
That's what I heard. Yeah. I haven't done any of it.
But that's the other thing is everyone's unique. Everyone's unique in how they're attacking this thing they call music, and everyone's doing it their own special way. And
well, that Hawk McIntyre is another one. He was on the oh, he's just a younger kid. He was on The Voice. Yeah, on The Voice.
Mm-hmm.
And he, they called me up one day and they were like, hey man, we're playing in Carroll, but we don't have any, can you open for us, you know? And he went on the Voice, and I think he made it, well, got on the live thing, but he didn't get picked by any of the judges, you know? But that was kind of cool that he was on TV, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's like 19, 20 years old.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. And killer musician.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yeah, man, let's go down there. So I met him and his dad through music too. You know,
That's really cool.
That's just another. I mean, we could have conversations about everybody that you meet throughout the day. Hats off to Brad Hofing and what he's doing. You know, he's a good friend of mine, and some of his. I went to Forte Studios with the last song.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobson is class act down there. I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they did down there, their equipment is top notch. They were just fantastic.
Yeah,
that's where I recorded "I'll Do Me" at. Was at Forte Studios.
Nice.
And you know, if Brad had all the equipment that they have over there,
mm-hmm.
holy cow,
dude! Yeah,
holy cow.
He's one of those guys that can do insane stuff with, I want to say, a modest amount of equipment and a modest amount of setup. Like, I've seen him in like one or two like armfuls carry all of his stuff to a place to record everyone. And, it's like, what? Like,
right.
That is insane that he can pull that off. But you know, that's another one of those things. I think, like, what could some of us do if we really put our mind to it? And this is just us doing a lot of this stuff as a hobby. It's not that we're not serious, but like, you know, if we didn't have regular day jobs and stuff, like what would we be able to accomplish with all this?
I don't know.
You
I mean, you know, I've thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm 44 years old, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be 60 years old and say I never tried it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times that I just want to say, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to just go do it and see if I can make a living off of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I was going to come March,
mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden COVID happened, so I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know.
There is something to that, though. Like, you probably should just do it now because you're going to say, well, we should have. You know, it's tough to have those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you know.
I guess here's right. It is. I don't want any regrets. I don't want to regret it when I'm older, and God willing, I get older.
Yep.
And
I mean, like, let's imagine this. Let's imagine you just made songs with no music video. Like, maybe your reach wouldn't be as big, you know.
I don't know.
And you don't have to sit there and be 60 years old and be like, man, I wish I would have made some music videos.
Right.
For those. I talked about it, but I never did it, you know.
I guess my plan is, I'm still writing. I'm going to record more.
Yep.
I'm sure more music videos are going to come out.
Cool.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. I'm going to keep that foot on the gas.
Yeah.
I have to. I mean, that's my passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm going to do. And I guess if that's satisfying enough for me,
yeah,
it is. And I guess if things are meant to pop and going to pop
mm-hmm.
off of that, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just along for the ride, man.
Yeah, man.
That's how I'm kind of taking everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just letting go and just letting things happen.
Yeah, it's really cool, though. Like, you were talking about, like, you got a lot of gigs going on right now. Do you find it's easier to pick up solo gigs now than it was before, just due to the fact you don't have to, like... I feel like if I was running a bar right now, I would hit up solo acts just on the simple fact it wouldn't be like... It's not that you just have to pay more people. It's like you have to hit somebody up and it's like, well, is everybody in your band okay with coming and doing a show, or is some people going to be not okay with it?
It's cheaper.
You know? Yep.
You know, the restaurants and the bars, they're especially now because the governor just came down. They're cracking down on them again,
mm-hmm.
Which is okay. That's a whole different.
Yeah,
that's a whole different conversation.
That's somebody else. That's somebody else's podcast.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But I don't. It's easy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's easier too. You know, you don't have to drag as much stuff around.
Well, right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that want to see Scott sing my songs now.
Yeah.
You know, and not just with Salty Views playing in a bar band anymore.
Yep.
And that's a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird putting yourself out there like that, you know? And,
yeah.
I mean, it really, really is. And I don't see, you know, some of these guys that do it, and, you know, Clint really puts himself out there with every song that he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just kind of, it's just kind of how you got to take it. You know, people are going to like it. I'm sure there's people that don't like it.
Yep. To each
Whatever.
their own.
Yeah,
You know?
that's the best part about music is there's all kinds of genres, and
It took me a while to realize that like maybe the music like that I don't like probably wasn't made for me. Instead of just being like this music sucks, you know, because that was always my first interaction when I was a teenager. Like this is bad music.
well, I
It's
like all music. I mean,
when it's I'll tell you what, when it's live, I can handle anything.
oh yeah,
You know?
that one song that I absolutely love right now is Jelly Roll. Save Me. Have you seen that video?
No.
Oh my gosh. Here's this big dude with tattoos on his face, and I think he's a rapper or something normally.
I don't know.
And all of a sudden he comes out with this acoustic rendition of this song, and it's Save Me, and he just wails it.
Oh, cool.
It's all over YouTube. It's
I'll
great.
have to
check it out.
I'll have
Oh
to check it
yeah.
out.
I mean, it's an incredible song.
Dude, that's awesome.
So I'm like, oh, I'm going to learn this one, you know, and
Oh,
put
that's
this
really
into my
cool.
solo gig. But yeah, it's fun. It's been a hell of a ride. And when I decided, I don't know, probably, I've been playing music for a long time, you know.
yeah.
Probably the last 10 years, really just getting out into and pushing it.
Yeah.
Probably 5 years of the last solo stuff, really just
Yeah.
pushing that. And it's been a hell of a ride, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Really, I mean, that's the cool part.
Do those solo shows. I've done one. It's tough. You
is.
are out there. You are out there
Oh,
all
yeah.
by yourself.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to hide anything.
And you know, some of those shows are fun though because
Yeah.
you're the one
Yep.
that's making this Joe Schmo and his wife get up and dance because they've been sitting here like a bump on a log
Yeah.
all night long, and I'm going to pick on them on the microphone. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it works.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fun part about doing it. And I do. I interact with the crowd a lot, and they're very receptive to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get them up and get them going. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I always forget that everyone like just really enjoys, you know, being around everyone else and their music and stuff like that. Like, I remember it was probably the first time you came out to the Barnum Jam about like 3 weeks ago. I played a song and I thought like everyone was outside and kind of not paying attention, you know, with the door closed and
Yeah.
stuff. And so like that's when I sneak in there and play songs. You know, there's like, oh, there's only like 5 people in here. I'll rock this. You know, and then I get done and it's just like I didn't know there was people playing pool and they're just like, woo! I'm like,
people
oh
are hooting
man,
and hollering for
yeah,
you,
somebody's open the door and yell in like, yeah! And it's like, oh gosh,
Yeah,
this
we
is
listen.
insane.
You know, I mean, people,
yeah.
they do.
They do, and they enjoy it. I mean,
You got to quit being so shy.
some of it's the comedy factor of it, though. Like, it's just like I want to make the joke of like when you go to a jam night, it's like, dude, this guy's working. This guy's at work right now. You know, like he's working for free. Look at him. You know, like
Right.
you know, it's not really the case.
Yeah,
But
well,
you know.
but it's true though. I mean, it's you know, but even there, man, there's so much talent that walks the door. You know, and
Yeah,
it was
it's
just that
insane.
night was a fun night.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Um,
The first night you were there was like some of the most fun I'd had at a jam night
yeah, that was a good time.
in a long time. Since like the Patty's Pub jams. You know, like I don't know what it was about.
I think I've
those.
seen, and I've never got to see Jesse Wilson play before either, so
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of fun. It was like, oh, cool, man, I get to check this guy out.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I met him, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we're friends on Facebook, but I've never really officially met the guy. And
Well, yeah. I saw you come in, and I didn't know if he noticed you or not. But I was like, "Do you know Scott Kirkhart?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, he's over here if you haven't met him." So I was just like, "Well, go over and say hi to him." You know,
he's
just
a
so,
super nice guy.
yeah. And that's like one of those things. It's kind of fun just to be able to.
And I didn't see Clint. I haven't seen Clint for a long time before then too. So it was like, oh man, well, hey, of course you come up, you get a big hug, man. How
Yeah.
you doing, brother? What's all up?
Yeah.
And then we have a few cocktails, and then we just start talking shop for a long time. And the other night, Jordan Reuter was playing out of Traditions out at Twin Lakes.
Oh,
And so
cool.
I was like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to run out there and check him out.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of good being able to get out and see some of these people that you don't get to see normally. And then you got to support them too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're our brothers and sisters out there, dude. So we gotta treat them like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I feel that way anymore. And I want everybody to succeed, and what they're doing, and want their dreams to come true as well as I want mine to come true as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm doing with it. I'm just kind of rolling with it, and
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna keep pushing forward.
Yeah, and keep making more hats. Definitely. Look at
Yeah,
them
the
babies.
hats, that logo, that logo. I don't know what it is that they. It's becoming people were recognizing it.
Yeah, man, it's
That's
awesome.
That's the marketing. That's the marketing coming in there, man.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I think we got just over an hour on here. I think we covered most.
Well, we're not done covering it yet, though.
What's that?
It's your 100th episode.
It is
dude.
the 100th episode, dude.
What? Well, all right. So, what's the future for Audible Farm Podcast now?
Oh gosh.
Are you gonna start doing all this video stuff here?
I'm gonna try to do video. We'll see. I might start a Patreon page for the video stuff.
On what? Like YouTube? And
Yeah, I'll put it on YouTube, but it'll probably be for Patreon people only. I want to try and start one, just as something to do, just to see if anybody would pay to watch any of this or not.
I don't. Granger Smith. All right. Of all people, Granger Smith is a big country artist, right?
Yeah.
And he's very Christian. He's got a great family. His younger son passed away or got killed in a pool accident. He was only like 3, I think, is what it was. River was. And he starts all this podcast that they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Smiths.
Yep.
And I listen to it religiously every week. On Monday it comes out, just like I listen to yours every week religiously on Thursday when they come out.
Yeah.
And he's doing a killer job of it.
Yeah.
And man, he talks about some pretty deep stuff, and gets into it, and about family stuff and become a little more intimate, and that's pretty neat. And and then of course I got to listen to Hawkeye football, so I listen to washed up walk-ons and stuff like that. And that's just 3 ex-football players that were walk-on football players that started a podcast.
Oh, cool.
And they cuss on it, and they I mean, that's just the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk everything Hawkeye football, and these podcasts are pretty cool, and what you're doing is pretty cool.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. But keep it up.
Well, I just figure it's free every week regardless, and if anybody I've had a lot of people tell me they want to watch video of it.
Well, we need to find you another big sponsor.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man, maybe if anybody's looking to sponsor, hit me up.
Right.
If it's something I can use and something I will enjoy, unfortunately, I probably will not do like a beer sponsor because I don't drink beer.
You don't drink beer, right? Yeah.
But
but you like coffee?
Coffee,
yeah.
the coffee sponsor. It'd be awesome to double up on coffee sponsors, but they probably wouldn't enjoy the competition directly. But hey, Couchtown Coffee's been super good to me, and that's one of the things that's pretty wild is just being part of the music community. It was like I'm looking for coffee sponsors, and somebody was just
even if you got a music venue or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sponsored by the Cornerstone.
Yeah.
And, Pub and Grill up in Emmitsburg.
Exactly.
Go ahead and check them guys out. And
well,
it might be a good idea. I'll talk to them for you.
Well, it's just one of those things. It's permanent advertising, for somebody too, because it's there forever. It's not like it's on the radio once and it went by, and if you weren't listening at noon, you didn't hear it, and that's too bad.
How's your listenership? I mean, do you get graphics and all that?
I do.
Statistics and
it was on the way up, all the way up until COVID, and it took a dive because nobody's in their cars now.
Gotcha.
So
right.
And that's where a lot of people were just like, dude, you got to do video because we're all just sitting at home. And
they want to watch YouTube and stuff like that.
And now I'm once again day late and a buck short on everything as I am. But but video is here. I mean, I'm attempting it. So we'll see.
That the Smiths, they do their podcast video. They got a YouTube channel, and then they started this one. There was an old Chevy pickup truck that was in one of his videos. It was his dad's pickup, and then his pickup, and it didn't start for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like a 72 or 71 Chevy. I mean, it's an old green, ugly pickup.
Yeah.
Well, during COVID, him and his bus driver decided, we're going to fix this old pickup truck up and get it running.
Oh, cool.
So they've been coming out with video podcasts of what they're doing to the truck this week, and this is what we're doing, and all these people are sending them people parts.
Oh, cool.
From all over the country. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That's sweet.
And it's like, new video's out. I come check it out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I do. So it could be big.
Yeah, you never know. I've had other ideas to do the podcast and do things. Like I've got a lot of merch, like, the Scott Kirkhart hat. I've also got my own merch and other stuff, but like I've got t-shirts for like everybody's bands, it seemed like, and I want to try and like incorporate something where it's just like, look at all this merch I got, and like you take like a little episode to take like 5 minutes to be like, dude, check out this shirt. It's for this band. You can listen to their stuff here. I'll put a link to it down below, and just do a little like plug for everybody. But it's kind of like a hooray, I've got all this cool merch, and then you can also try to get people in on the merch game as well. With
merch that's a whole different ball game too.
It is.
I mean, you got to stay ahead of the game. I mean, you got to have so many sizes. You got to have, but you can't spend too much money and then have them sitting around.
Yeah,
that's
such a killer though too. Because like I when I first got shirts, I got just a few regular-ish sizes, and then for some reason I sold out of smalls first. I don't know how that works.
Well, I usually have smalls always left over.
Yeah, mind blown.
Huh.
But somehow or another I run out of smalls, so I ordered on my second order. I ordered some more smalls, and I haven't sold a single one yet.
Right.
But I was like, I'll order some bigger sizes because people hit me up.
Yeah,
with
I said, man, you got to hook me up with the fat man size.
Yeah, so I was like, I gotta find these new bigger sizes, and those have been the ones that have been selling the fastest now. So had I had them available, people would have been wearing them long ago. So you gotta know what you need. But
and your stickers or your game on your stickers.
Yeah, stickers all day and night.
We were talking about that at Jam Night last week, wasn't it?
Yeah,
stickermule.com or
whatever.
Man,
yeah. I mean, if anybody's looking for stickers, that's where I would recommend a Sticker Mule. They make the majority of the stickers I have.
Stickers. Everybody kind of wants a sticker. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Like we're growing adults and we're collecting stickers.
Yeah, exactly. There's a big sticker trading game going on. I gotta fill up my case. My case has got to be stickers front to back. And,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to streamline everything a little bit, make it easier for everybody. Just find more people to talk to if I can. I've made it almost. I've interviewed like 90 different people. So it's pretty wild to think.
That's awesome.
That I've run into about 90 different people.
Well, look how many people you've met just through the podcast.
Exactly.
Alone, dude.
I never would have interacted with them ever before because I would have been too shy or it's just like, is this person approachable or not? But it's like if you establish the common ground of like, hey, I enjoy your music. Let's talk about it. And people are just like, how am I going to talk about my music for this long?
Yeah, how do you do it? Because you really can carry on a conversation and keep people, and you got to keep me engaged in this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we got cell phones dinging over here, and we got, what I mean? How do you keep that person engaged into the conversation like that?
It's tough. Go listen to some of the first episodes. I didn't know what I was doing, but for a while there, people would like interact with like, I wish you would have asked this. I wish you would have asked that. And it was just, at first I was like, that's mean. Like, don't tell me what I should have, you take it to heart, but then it's constructive. And you're like, oh, I probably should have. And then you don't think like, now I'm like, if somebody says something, and I just imagine like, if I'm listening to this for the first time, do I have any clue what's going on? Right. So like, if you're just like, oh, I was hanging out with Clint the other day, and it's like Clint Riedel, he's another musician, and so you slide those things in there. If somebody's just like, well, I was doing this, this, and this, and this, and then someone's gonna like, how'd you get involved in that? It's like, well, how did you get involved in that?
Right.
And it's just like, because to me, I'm honestly a little bit curious, but I don't want to pepper people at gigs with 40,000 questions.
Well, but they're. Your podcasts are an average of an hour.
Yep.
How do you keep the listenership out there that are listening to the podcast to not get bored with the podcast? But I don't ever get bored with the podcast listening. I mean, I'm intrigued the whole time.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm sitting in a FedEx truck, but even when I make a delivery, I crank it up a little bit so I can hear what they're saying. Leave the door open so I can hear it.
Yeah.
And then back in. I'm like totally into the conversations that you were having with these other musicians.
Well, it's kind of crazy. I just go into it thinking like, what did we have to talk about today that was super pertinent? Honestly, nothing.
Right.
But since the last time I had talked to you, it was like, well, you had the music video come out and the song.
We can brag a little bit about what's
clears
going on.
100,000 views. We traded some merch the other day. And that's literally was the basis of what I came in here with. I was like, I got to hit those things, and that's it.
Right.
But it's like, we talked about doing a merch swap at the Barnum Jams. Like, oh, yeah, and the Barnum Jams are fun. And then
that conversation just goes on and on and on.
Just let it go. So if you and I aren't bored with the conversation, nobody else probably is,
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just trying to, like, keep them in mind. Sometimes I've found that certain things cause people to trail off really quick, and that's gear talk. So if you talk about gear, it's just like, keep it light.
Well, we did talk about gear a little bit in this podcast, so I hope it didn't bore anybody.
Yeah, but I'm not like, dude, I bought a set of lace sensor dualies, and I'm going to put them in there with some coil splits on triple shots.
That's pretty badass, though, I want to say. I'm not going to lie.
People are like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Like,
right.
So, but, I try and keep it pretty normal, I guess. Just let everybody that wants to listen. Plus, like, I guess if you're still listening and you're just like, how come you didn't talk about with Scott, and how he got started playing music? I already did that on a different episode.
You
can go listen to that one.
Yep.
Oh, you should talk to Salty View. I already did it. Scott was there too.
Yep.
So if you want to listen to a little bit more Scott, there's that one there. And I mean, that one was more heavy on me asking everyone else what they had going on and less about you because I had already done that with you. But,
right.
But I still got you to interject, in
a little bit.
situations.
And I wanted you to get, those guys, Mr. Salter's got
Yeah.
plethora of information that through his music career, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have a guy that created Premier Guitar Magazine
Yeah.
on very often, right?
Dude, it's so wild about that.
I mean, think about that. That's like the largest guitar magazine in the world right now.
Yeah, I have people that hit me up about it, and it's just like, oh, something Premier Guitar. It's just like, funny thing, the guy that started that was on my podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Isn't that crazy?
And he had the right idea doing that, and it's something like this. If he was doing that, and someone was just like, that's dumb. It's never gonna happen. It's just like, why would you want to squash someone's dreams? So like I feel that way about negativity. It's like this person's got some issues and stuff. Don't listen to it.
Right.
I've had some people come through on the podcast and negatively react to what's going on just based on like the guest said a certain thing, or like I said a certain thing, or somebody just has a quorum with like a band that the guest mentioned, or it could be the most nonsensical stuff that happened, and for some reason people are just like,
right,
share this and dislike it and make leave bad reviews and stuff, and it's happened, but it's still just like, this doesn't matter.
Everybody's
everyone's 99.9% of the time it's all positive, and the rest of the time it's a crapshoot between negativity and bots.
And you're doing this out of pure enjoyment. I mean,
yeah, literally.
Right now.
Yeah.
All right, you're on 100th episode, dude. That's
100 episodes of giving something away for free. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just taking my time out. Like today, I should be doing homework, honestly, but I came here and I'm hanging out with you instead.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean,
rock and roll.
But it's kind of like that's a lot of commitment.
Yeah. I mean,
you must enjoy it.
I do. Honestly, like otherwise I'd just be sitting at home doing nothing. And I want to interact with the people that I'm around anyways. So like it originally started as like I can interview all the people that I interact with in music that I play, like with Three Finger Betty, but then I found myself going to jam nights and then interacting with different people, and it just expanded and kept going and going until eventually I was talking to people I'd never met before about music that I had only heard on the internet, and it's like, I got to go see a Eugene Levy show, I can't wait to go see the Pork Tornadoes live,
Right.
It's just like,
and they rock.
Yeah. So I just think about bands like that where it's like, I can't wait to go see all these people live and go check out their stuff, So you get to run into all these different people, and it expanded from being something that was like, a self-promotional tool. It's like I could talk about the shows that I have coming up, and I don't do that as much anymore because that's not really what it's about. Right. I do sometimes, but I share a lot of that stuff in the Facebook group if anybody wants to get on the Facebook group.
Yeah, and that's, I know as well as you do that social media is.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stay present all the time.
Yes.
All the time. It's never ending.
Oh my God.
And you do a very good job of it too. I mean,
trying my best,
It is, but it's just like, it's a full-time job at times,
Some of it feels redundant. It's like, I shared this picture once already, it's just
right.
like, well, I'll do it again. Because maybe the people last Tuesday didn't see it.
Especially, like even, when you come out with a new album.
Yeah.
Or a new single. You know,
just sharing it once is not enough.
No, sharing it once is not.
No, put it in your story every day, so it never disappears.
Yeah, and even if it's 6 months down the road, say, hey, did you check this out?
Have you
next
seen
thing you know,
it?
you got another 20,000 views on your.
Yeah, because people are just like, oh, I didn't know this thing existed, you
Right.
know, and it's because maybe they weren't fans of yours until after it came out or something, and
people don't know, and that's what I really like the way you're doing your social media stuff, and I hope you do this video stuff, because we kind of talked about this before that you were gonna.
We did, yeah,
and you're like, oh, I don't know, and I'm like, that'd be kind of neat, dude.
Yeah, and I'm just doing it like Renegade
it's like
style
NPR
right now.
or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this isn't multi-camera. I mean, I could do that.
Well, you probably could eventually.
And I thought about it, but it's still, I'm at the whim of where I am at, because some of these are Skype podcasts and some of them
what's your goal, or do you have a goal of seeing Audible Farm?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Honestly,
it is.
Honestly, like I wouldn't mind being able to have a place that I could go to do all of these, but it's going to have to be a centralized location that people will want to come to.
Right.
So since I talk to so many people from all over the place, that might not be a thing that can happen. It's going to be tough to get somebody from Iowa City to drive, even if it's in Des Moines. Like if I move to Des Moines and have it set up there, it's going to be tough to get people to drive to Des Moines just to sit and talk with me for an hour or so, But then if I have like a dedicated studio space, I will probably upgrade some video stuff, and then you can maybe have some sort of like live from the Audible Farm Studios nonsense going on or whatever.
That would be cool.
Try and pull off some Chris Carr stuff or some like DSM TV kind of stuff. That's another one. Down in Des Moines, people set up like a place where they can videotape and stream live videos of
Yep.
like bands and stuff, and it's insanely cool. So like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I'd love to do. Maybe do like live concert series. I want to videotape more shows and put more videos on YouTube for people to watch.
Right. So well, you're going to build your fan base.
Yeah.
A broader spectrum.
Exactly.
Well.
I mean, it's helped out a lot of bands. I've interviewed people and talked to them like, Audis shows and things like that, where it's like, hey, can I put this video online? I took it of you, and they're like, yeah, put it up there. And they don't have anything recorded, and they use that as a way to book more shows, because even if my video quality is not like the most insanely best, it's way better than a lot of other people's cell phone video quality.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
As long as you mix like a field recorder or something else in there with it, you can pull off a lot of crazy stuff. So, I just try and doing things like that. I'm just kind of doing it all grassroots. I don't know if I want to take on too much, because I'm, still trying to finish school. I'm almost done with it. So
you're almost done?
Yeah.
Long ride.
It's been a wild ride, man. I'm ready to be done with school, and that's pretty crazy that I did like all of this like right in the middle of school.
While you're doing school,
it's just like
in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, going back to school, I was working, full time doing it there for a while, and doing 2 bands and playing shows in like Illinois and stuff like that, and still trying to find time to get all this stuff done. And I've only ever missed 1 week, and I ran a replay episode of one of my most famous episodes, which was Gene Walker's.
Great episode.
Yeah, I mean that one is soundbite central. If you want to pull some sound bites out of it, Gene Walker is the man for that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got to sit down and talk with him again someday. I mean,
I'm sure he'd be honored to do it, man. That's Gino,
And that was another one. Didn't know him from the Man on the Moon, and then sit down and talk with him, and it's just like, man, this guy might be a little rough around the edges. And then you talk to him like, this guy is the nicest guy I've ever met in my entire life.
When we had that Tracy Ernst benefit, we there were so many killer musicians there. I mean, and it was kind of neat because Riddle with Class just got done playing, and I was like, I got to do something here, man, and so I got up on stage behind Merritt, and I got on the mic, and I was like, hey, I want every musician in the house that's still here to come up to the front of the stage.
Oh, cool.
And next thing you know, man, there's probably 20 or 30 of them. And we all took a picture with Tracy, all of us musicians. You know? How often do you get that many musicians together?
I mean, not even at jam nights does that happen.
No. No, right.
And this is all to support a musician.
And I said to him, we need to start something. We need to do like one weekend out of the year. Nobody book nothing. Sorry, bars.
Yeah.
Because we're going out to a party, and we're going to have an open jam and a party all day long.
Oh, cool.
And just make it like a weekend type deal, and just musicians. Let's just have fun and get together and have a good time.
Oh, God, that'd be so fun.
I think maybe it's in the works. We'll see what happens.
Dude, could you imagine how cool that would be if you had like, I'm talking like 5 guitar amps up on stage and like maybe 2 drum sets set up on stage.
Yeah.
So, or just like whatever's going on, so everyone can just jump in there whenever they want to.
Just come on up.
Yep. Oh yeah, this one's more clean. This one's more dirty sounding. And you just come up here and plug in and play. And that would be super, super fun.
Man, I'm hoping that we could get that going.
Oh God, that'd be so cool. I mean, even if you could do that at a public place and set it up as like a non-profit type thing, like the Rockin' Picnic kind of deal, and then make money off of it, it'd still be a cool thing. You could donate it all to a good cause or something, whatever, but like there's something there to that too, because I'm sure that other people would enjoy seeing that too, where it's just like you don't know what's going to happen, but there's going to be cool things happening, and not every finish is going to be clean.
This much talent all in one place, shit's going to happen. And you better have video as well, because it's going to be cool.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it works out, but I'm proud of you, dude. What you do and what you've done.
I appreciate it.
That's cool. 100. You gonna do another 100 episodes?
Yeah, hopefully we'll make it to quadruple digits.
Right?
Yeah,
good deal.
You never know.
That's a lot of time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication.
I want to do more than one a week, but honestly, like one a week is plenty. It's just enough.
Well, and you come home. I mean, you record it all, and then you go home and you edit it down.
Yeah.
So you got to take time and listen to the whole thing again.
Yeah, it's a one-man operation. Sometimes I've gotten a little lax on the editing because I used to be like anything that could be construed as negative at all has to come out of this thing, but then it's just like, you know what, we're just having a conversation.
Yeah, we're just conversating.
You know, and some of the stuff I have taken some things out here and there. But
I'm sure we're gonna piss people off, but
yeah, everyone's going.
You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah,
I wish we could, but
you know, and that's like profanity. I don't care if anybody uses profanity. I'm not going to go out there and just be like, "Oh, damn it, you bitch of that," just swear a whole bunch.
I'm not going to cuss. You know.
Yeah, and so like
we're not all dirty folk singers, right?
Clint. No, but like that's the thing though, is I let everyone be themselves, and I will adapt to the situation just as everyone usually does in their own situations, you know. And you know, if you swear, you swear. If you say something that you want me to take out, I'll take it out. But like you said, yeah, I have to do all the editing and all.
But that's the cool part about it though, as well, is because it's not on FM radio.
No,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't have anybody breathing down my neck.
It's not censored. I mean, and let's be honest, that's how a lot of us are, man. This is who we are, and this is sometimes how we talk. Sometimes,
yeah, exactly.
If you want to say the F-bomb once in a while, it's going to probably happen. Yeah, I mean, you know,
it's funny when I don't expect it to come out, then I'm like, I'm on a podcast. Yeah, oh no, right. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening. You know?
No, I get it.
You know,
but I really hope that you just keep this going, and I can't commend you enough on what you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's cool, and thanks for having me again and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to have met you. I'm glad to have you around for episode 100 because I was like, what should I do for episode 100? I had some ideas of doing some radically crazy things, and I was like, well, let's just keep it simple and then see what happens. And you were the first and quite frankly the only person to hit me up.
Well, I was just like 100, dude. I want it. Let's do it.
And I was just like, that's what I want. I want someone that wants to be in on this. So here we go. You know.
Oh, and it did fit. You know, I mean, which is cool. You know, and I can't thank everybody enough out there. Period. As far as supporting me and my music as well.
Yeah.
And I'll Do Me is just ramping up, and it's still going.
It's still going.
It's going to go live, national country music FM, hopefully August 15th for that Play Me.
Whoa,
yeah,
cool.
Which is kind of cool. So it's just, and I had a radio guy help me with that, from Ottumwa.
Oh, wow.
Steven Stogard, I think. Yeah, he got a hold of me. And he's like, if you want radio stations to play your music, you need to use this format, and this is what radio stations use.
Oh, cool.
You know, sign up for it. So I ended up doing it and paid the fees or whatever it was, and man, it's going to be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, you never know. I mean,
are they going to give you statistics back and tell you how many?
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
That's going to be so cool.
So I hope, that it does it. But
dude, that would be tons of fun. Even if just to be like, who picked this up? Even if it's just like 20, 30, 40 stations, and it's just like they each played it twice.
I mean,
but that's
it gets a lot of play in Iowa, which is cool. I mean, it's playing down there. K97's down there. Storm Lake it's playing in. There's a place over in Dyersville, I think, that's playing it.
Musicians. If you are anywhere remotely close to fitting a genre of anything on a radio station, you will fit there. If you play country music, hit up your local country stations and be like, dude, I made this and I'm from Iowa.
Even if you play rock. I mean, Moonshine and Mason Jars was on 92 Rock the other night. I was like, yeah, thanks, Mason.
Yeah,
you
dude.
Kick ass,
Yeah.
But I was like, and of course, I got people snapping me. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're on the radio.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things ever is
getting
little video snippets of your band on the radio. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Oh, yeah. And it's not impossible.
No. And I mean, getting on the radio, doesn't mean what it used to mean back in the day. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But it's still a really cool feather to have in your cap, and it means something. Yeah. It does mean something.
It does. And it's...
I've coached so many bands that I enjoy to send their stuff to Mason at 92 Rock.
Oh yeah,
and Regional Rock Hour, 92 Rock.
And he's
Mason.
So huge into
the scene as much as everyone. Yeah,
right.
he loves music just as much as I do.
Right.
I started this because of his show, and I was just like, I want to have longer conversations with these people, you know, and that's what I did. And he went the route of. He's a radio DJ, so he plays music, but it's music from around the area, so it's really cool, And I mean, he goes across Iowa and beyond, and that's one of my favorite things. I was just like, everyone should be using this. I want to hear some of my favorite Iowa bands on this station. So it's like, dude, send your music to Mason.
Yeah.
And if anybody's listening and hasn't, do it.
And Darren on K97 has been a huge supporter of me, which is cool. I mean, and I can't I can't thank Darren enough. You know, I think it was 7:15 in the morning one day, and he's like, "Man, you got like 3 requests for Artie for it," and like he Snapchatted me. He's like, "You're on the radio now, dude. Check and tune in." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man. I'll tune in."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
So that's kind of neat, and you know, the support there has been great. That's what I've been blessed, and I hope and pray to continue to be blessed with everything. And I'm going to keep pushing out that music, and I'm going to keep it going.
That's good.
I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my life.
Yep.
Music is my life just as well as it is yours.
Yep.
And people don't understand that sometimes unless they're into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, before you pulled up, I was literally playing guitar.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yep. I mean,
people don't. They just. I mean, it becomes you. It is who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like this podcast. It is who you are now.
Yeah.
You've got 100 weeks. 100 weeks.
That's 2 years. You know, it's
dude.
That's wild. And yeah, I mean, and like you said, as much as you could try and deny it, but it is part of what you think it's like. Yeah, people attach it to you, and I think that was one reason I didn't enjoy.
Sounds like a good song, doesn't it?
You know, it does. I think that was one reason I ran away from playing guitar so much was because people just attached it to you, and they're like, "Ah, you're just a guitar player, dude," or whatever. And it's like,
what's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was 20, I was kind of embarrassed about it because you're like 20-year-old still trying to live the dream. You're not going to live the dream, And it's like, well, I could still have fun doing this, and that was something I didn't realize until I was older, unfortunately.
Well, Brothers Osborne is a huge country band that I love, man. And they're 2 brothers, and you have John Osborne is the guitar player, and his brother was like, he was the geeky one, always sitting in his room, locked the door, playing guitar by himself for hours and hours. And the guy is phenomenal. Yeah. And they wouldn't be where they're at now. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
You can't book them for under $100,000 now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh gosh. Oh man. That's insane.
Right?
Yeah. That's insane, dude.
The country scene is just a booming force.
It is. It's insanely huge. And, you're riding the wave. Dude, you're riding the wave in Iowa for it, dude.
We're going to keep going, man. Hopefully, I got to keep that going. Yeah. I got to keep the foot on the gas. It's, sometimes I want to take a breather and go, oh, maybe I should let this one fester. No, I got to keep writing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it would be nice to have a new song already ready to be recorded and a new video while this one, I'll Do Me, starts to pan out a little bit.
It would, and it would be great. But I also have a full-time job that
I
have
that's true.
to do. And I have kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was all that I was doing, right.
Yep.
It wouldn't be a problem. But, and I got to go work that 8 to 5 day job.
There it ended. That was the end of it. Hey, if you want to hear the end of this podcast, even though it was only a few extra minutes, it is available as a video version. That is correct. We are doing Audible Farm video versions of the podcast now. If the guest is okay with me doing video of them, I will be doing video of the podcast. So hopefully there will be more videos coming soon. But if you want to check out the video version of this podcast, it is available at our Patreon page. That's right. Audible Farm has a Patreon page now, and all you have to do is give $1 a month. You can give more, but all you have to do is give $1 a month. $1 a month, and you can watch all of the episodes, video versions that we have recorded. So if I have them recorded, I will post them there, and if you are a patron of the page, you will be able to see the post. So check that out. If that interests you and it's something you want to see, check it out. You will be able to see video versions of the podcast now, if the guest permits it. I'm not going to force it on anybody. I still think the audio versions are good enough, honestly, but I had a lot of people asking about video versions, and I mean a lot. So hey, if that's the route you want to take, they're available on the Patreon page. Otherwise, everything is going to be free. It's just still going to be free like it always was. You're still going to hear intros and outros and the whole 9 yards, and we're going to be talking about Couchtown Coffee and whoever sponsors, and we're going to be doing all that good stuff. But if you want the video, that's at the Patreon page. So check that out. It also has at least for this podcast, it has the proper ending, I guess would be the way to say it. But like I said, those are available on the Patreon page if you want to check it out. There's a link in the description. Otherwise, if you want to check out Scott Kirkhart's music video for I'll Do Me that cleared 100,000 views, and it's well over that now on Facebook, I put a link in the description for the YouTube video of that. So check that out. That's available also for you guys to check out, and that's free because that's YouTube. I mean, that's awesome. So check that out. It's well worth checking out. It's a really cool video, and it's a great song. So I'm really happy to have Scott come with me, and hang out on episode 100. He has been working very hard to extend his reach in the area, and he's been doing a very good job of it. With music videos and networking with people and all the merch he's got. The hats are awesome. Hit up his Facebook page if you want to check out those hats. We're also kind of clowning around with him a little bit in the video version of this, so if you want to check that out, you can see the hats on the video version on the Patreon page. But yeah, it was really great to sit down and talk with him. We talked about gear, we talked about going to jam nights, talked about serendipitously running into people at shows and at work and all these other places, and all these people help us out, and people believe in us, and we got to believe in ourselves, and stacking up the confidence. And then Scott even flipped the script on me a little bit, started asking me some questions about the podcast, and props to him. He's just as curious about it as everyone else is. Someday I'll tell more about the Audible Farm podcast and how it started and everything. But for now, this is me talking to everybody else. So gotta say shout out to Scott. You reached 100,000 views on Facebook on your video. That's insane. That's monumental. I joked about it a little bit in the podcast, but Scott deserves like a plaque or something for that. That's wild. That's a mile marker for sure. So hats off, Scott. You've been working hard, and it's well deserved, all the success you got. So appreciate it, man. Hey, if you guys are looking for anything in the Audible Farm shop, the Audible Farm shop is open. That's we got links to that down below. This week, the code word to save 5% is Scott. You save 5% on anything. So you fill your card up and 5% off the whole 9 yards. It's right there. So you can save 5%. It's only good the day that this podcast comes out. This is for all the super diehards that are, just love to listen the very first day the podcast comes out, and they think, now I'm getting a sticker. Now I'm getting a shirt because it's 5% off. So why not? So this is for all the diehards. I really appreciate you guys. The code word is 5%. There's a link down below for the Audible Farm shop. So check that out as well. Also, there's links to Scott's stuff down below, as well as links to Salty Views information down there too. So check it out. If you guys want to see more information on Audible Farm, go to audiblefarm.com. We will have links there to everything we've got as far as shop, social media, Patreon page, and more. So check that out. And hey, thanks for listening to episode number 100. It's a wild ride. I didn't know if I'd ever make it this far. I remember talking to Justin Comer from I Hear I See, the radio show / podcast. And, he made it to 100 episodes, and I was blown away, and here I am sitting at 100 episodes now, and he's still going. So, hey, rock and roll, we're going to keep going. I'm going to try to keep doing video versions of this. Even if there's Skype, I'll try and find a way to make it at least somewhat enjoyable. I know that when Skype video and audio are working at the same time, it's not as good as just the audio, but we'll figure something out. So hopefully we get this thing all worked out and that the video versions go off without a hitch. So hey, appreciate everybody listening. Thanks for listening to episode 100. Go back and tell me what your favorite episode was from the previous 100. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. 100 episodes. Here's to 100 more. Check you guys next time. Peace.